Hi guys, Alex 2.0 here, back with Airwrek, and I'm sorry we haven't watched the reboot yet. We're behind, so we just watched the TMNT 2007 movie. And what did you think?
That was alright.
Yeah, it was
it was-
average.
It was animated. When it first came out, when I was younger, I was
Yeah.
excited for it. I
didn't
really
s-
enjoyed it.
Uh-huh.
I was younger, but
Uh-huh.
even though when we were watching it now, it wasn't boring by any means.
There was some stuff that was a little boring, like the whole villain stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't really get into that. I thought that was the weakest
That's
part.
true.
That was the weakest part of the movie.
that's true.
Because I did not care at all. But it was average. I would say that. I didn't.
What I always
But-
thought was weird was like April O'Neil as like seeing her fight. That was weird.
Yeah, because it sort of came out of nowhere. But at the same time, it's good for her to do something.
I guess, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she was like a whole full trained ninja or
Yeah.
warrior, whatever you want to call it. But
But let's see. Well, I really enjoyed all the turtle scenes.
I enjoyed Mikey.
They were definitely. I think this movie was a huge step up over the last two movies.
Or the live action ones.
Yeah, over 2 and 3. Definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was more entertained in the animated ones than the last two.
Yeah, a lot more. And I really appreciate like the different directions they took compared to the whole 3. It's definitely not the same thing.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
tone's different, and it's a little more deep, I guess you could say, into more character deep,
Yeah.
more character driven than the old live action films.
That is true. Very true.
Mm-hmm. But the story's still kind of still.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, it's Ninja Turtles, but like that's whatever. Like monsters, they just wanna just collect a bunch of monsters and suck them up in a dimension. It's not that appealing. But
Yeah.
but definitely the
I'm
best.
sure it showed Shredder, but he just showed his mask.
Yeah, but like the best parts are when pretty much with the turtles or the conflict with Leo and Raph.
That was like the coolest. I remember when I was younger. When I first time I saw it, that was like the coolest thing ever. I always wanted to see Raph and Leo fight.
Yeah, they do fight, and it was pretty good. I'm happy finally that they kind of gave Leo a lot more to do
Mm-hmm.
in this one than the other ones.
Actually established him as a leader.
Yeah, they did.
The other ones they didn't.
Whether you like him or not, but
They did a good job like
Yeah.
showing as Raph as a hothead because the
Yeah.
other ones didn't really do that at all.
Well, the original film did, but it was more just him being by himself. He didn't really have that big of a conflict with Leo.
Yeah.
Not that much. But
And they were all like exactly the same. Like they were all pretty silly.
yeah, it's a thing.
And usually the only one that's really silly is Mikey.
Yeah, it's a thing. But in here, that was like the first time, the first 4 movies that they all had different personalities, and that's
Like you actually saw
that's
that.
how you do it. That's so I would say that this even got something better than the first movie, even though I liked the first movie more, but that was an improvement over the
Yeah.
first movie.
Characters were, yeah, that's true.
But the first movie was a lot more fun. That's the thing. More entertaining.
I agree.
And what else could Casey Jones? I really like the Casey Jones and Raph scenes. Raphael, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They made a pretty good team. So I wish to, you know what?
And sidekicks.
It's kind of like there's no sequel to this one, so
Yeah.
they could have done more. I wish they. I like the direction. Like I appreciate the direction they took with this one. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
They tried.
It tried something different. Most of it worked, but I don't know. It still felt average to me though. Still.
Yeah, I mean, it's an animated movie. I mean, I'm gonna say animated movies aren't that good, but this one was alright.
Well, did you like the voices?
What was? You know what? They remind me a lot of the original. Like Ralph had that Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, not as thick, but it was there.
Yeah, it wasn't heavy, but you can hear the Brooklyn accent.
Mm-hmm.
For Mikey, you can hear like the same silly kind of raspy voice.
Mikey, like the surfer
Yeah.
dude, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, he had like the best lines in the movie. He had the funniest lines. Yeah, and the Donatello, I'm glad that they didn't make him like silly as Mikey, like the other movies.
Yeah.
He was like, he was the.
He was
nerdy.
being Donatello. Like they were all
yeah,
themselves, like the way
yeah.
you would see in the cartoons.
Yeah, and how they're supposed to be.
Yeah, how they're exactly.
From like they always established were like they're all different. They all have their own characteristics, and it showed it better than the. I know that's kind of blasphemous to say, but they did.
Wait, what?
That's kind of blasphemous to say that they did that part better than the first movie, but they did. Like the first movie, like as fun as it is, like Leo and Mikey and Donnie all kind of act the same.
Yeah, you can't really make it seem like they're all have like the same kind of.
Yeah, goofy personality.
Yeah, same personality.
Yeah,
and it's not the case.
And it definitely, they did a lot more than 2 and 3, which kind of lost me. But this did it better. But still, it's like, not. They still, I don't know, like. It wasn't. Yes, it wasn't as fun.
Splinter still had like, he still had his humor moments.
Yeah, he did.
When he's like, he's most serious all the time, but
he's mostly serious.
When he's about to watch TV.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he says.
So,
but
he's just talking about like a TV show.
Yeah,
like
someone's gonna break up with.
Yeah, like a reality show.
Yeah.
Like, was it Gilmore Girls?
I think it might be Gilmore Girls.
Because I heard like breaking, like the news reporters said like, breaking news, like we would not show you Gilmore Girls, like this is happening with the monsters or whatever. I think it was Gilmore Girls. So I guess that was just funny because he didn't say anything else funny. Yeah, I don't know if that counts.
I guess there's something at the end.
That doesn't count.
When you say at the end, when he's like when he was laughing, when the creatures were coming out of the portal or whatever.
He says, "I still have it."
Yeah.
I guess you can count that as it's funny.
But you could see like he had his like lighthearted moments.
Yeah, he still had some humor.
Even though like he's
mostly serious in the movie.
Serious.
Yeah,
but like in the originals,
yeah.
he's serious throughout the movie, but he has his lighthearted, humorous moments.
Yeah. So I didn't mind that.
I didn't mind that either. That's actually how I portrayed.
I didn't really care for April O'Neil though. She was kind of. She was barely in the movie actually.
In this one?
Yeah. Now that I think about it, she's barely in the movie. I mean, Casey Jones has more screen time.
And she wasn't.
Casey Jones has more screen time.
He did.
I like.
Didn't
Chris Evans? He did the voice of Casey Jones.
Yeah, he did.
He did a good job.
And was it Michelle?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah.
Yeah, she played April.
And April O'Neil wasn't a reporter in this one. She was like a explorer, kind of like a.
She switched careers, dude.
Yeah, she was like she wasn't a reporter.
She wasn't a reporter anymore.
I don't know what you would call it, like explorer. Or...
She was like she worked at the museum or whatever.
Yeah.
Archaeologist or like
I guess you would
something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
She wasn't a reporter anymore, so that was a little different too.
That was different. Like I didn't mind that.
She was a samurai archaeologist.
Yeah. One thing that was weird, like how they had the big fight scene when they were all fighting, like the Turtle, Splinter, Casey, and
at the end,
and April.
Yeah.
It felt like a video game, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you don't see how that fight starts. It just you see it, the middle of it. It's already going on, and then like they're kind of like the way the camera moves. It felt like a video game.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying.
Like press A. Oh, But yeah, I mean like it had its moments, the movie, but it still kind of felt I wouldn't say disappointed, but
I wasn't disappointed. I mean, not when the first time I saw it.
I wouldn't say it's disappointing, but I felt something was missing. I guess maybe that's like the fun of it, because like it just felt like the tone that just felt darker and more serious.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some funny moments, but I don't know. I wasn't having like fun watching it during the fights. It was like more serious fights or whatever. They acted like so serious when they were fighting, even though they had like some funny lines in between.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. I just prefer. Like even though I like, I always like that they take things a little bit more seriously. It's not like goofy, campy crap like
the
last couple. Yeah, the last two. But still, like, kind of balance it out a bit. This almost did it.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like, maybe that's where I felt something was missing. I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
It's hard to explain.
That's what we try to say.
Yeah, But
it didn't bother me. I mean, the darker tone was like the fighting scenes. Not that it didn't bother me.
I guess this was supposed to take place after the first three. It was like a loose sequel, sort of.
Yeah, I guess.
Because they already established everything. Like they knew April Casey. I mean, they sort of retired.
And then Shredder was gone.
Shredder was gone. Supposed to be dead, but they mentioned him at the end.
I guess there was supposed to be a sequel to that.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a sequel, but it didn't happen. We got the new one, so I kind of see this as Superman Returns, sort of. Not as
this one.
No, like not the compare how good or bad they are. It's just like it was a little sequel to the originals, and they set up a sequel, but it didn't happen. Now it's being rebooted. I'm not saying it's as bad as Superman Returns. The Turtles don't have Raphael doesn't have a baby in this movie, but you see what I mean? Yeah. It was it took a different direction. Supposed to start a franchise, a new franchise, but it didn't happen. I think it would have been interesting what they would have done if they continue off this movie, but stuff happens, you know. So, anyway, final thoughts.
Overall, first four movies. The first one and this one weren't terrible.
They were decent.
The first one was more entertaining.
Yeah, it was more entertaining. Yeah.
I have to say, I mean, it wasn't a good film. It wasn't a bad one either, but
I'd say it's a decent movie.
Original, yeah.
It's not like a.
It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
It's decent, but it wasn't like amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See, like yeah. It's still, for the most part, still, but there's some parts like, the story, even the story in that one isn't great. Even the story in that one isn't great. And I'll say one thing. Again, this is just us nitpicking. Again, the Turtles do not save the day in this one either. None of them so far.
That is true, actually.
It was Casey. Even though it was kind of. Well, yeah, it was Casey and April.
It was Casey and April, yeah.
Because they had to collect the one final monster, and they're the ones that drove it. You know, they drove the van.
They dragged it, yeah.
Which is cool to see the turtle van, even though they didn't use it much.
That's true.
But they're the ones who they got the monster to follow them, and then he ends up in the portal. So technically, they saved the day. So still, when are the turtles gonna actually save the day? Their freaking movie.
Yeah,
hopefully
true.
in the new one.
Yeah.
So Final Fantasy this movie was average.
Final Fantasy for the movie, average.
It has plenty of good stuff going for it, but I still kind of.
Would you add this to the original series? I mean, it's a completely different film, but
it still connects, sort of, if you want to look at it that way. It's sort of connected, even though it's animated. But
overall, the series is.
I thought you know, it's not as entertaining or fun as the first one, but it's a big step up over the
last one,
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry, they weren't great.
They were bored.
They weren't great. They weren't good.
So, based off the reviews for the new one, I'm not expecting it to be any good, but as long as it's entertaining.
Well, let's be honest. The critics never liked any of them.
I know, but I mean,
they actually hated all of them. They did. So I'm not gonna even. But I've heard from people I've heard people that even fans of the old stuff that it's actually pretty decent. That has problems, but it's decent. So I don't know. Hopefully it's good. If you wanna like it, I'm sure it won't be horrible. Hopefully not, but it's not gonna be the worst, man. It's not gonna be worse than 2 and 3.
I wanted it to be better than the original, but I don't know if that'll happen.
Well, this wasn't better than the original, so. But anyway, we're kind of going off track. But this movie was average.
Average.
It has some definitely good stuff in it, but I wouldn't say it's good. It's halfway decent, and kind of in the middle. So yeah. Like, what do you look for the new one? Hopefully it's good. This weekend, right? We're gonna watch it this weekend.
That review will be coming up shortly. So
yes. So stay tuned. But I have heard some good things though.
So have I.
So.
But I've also heard bad things.
Some of the bad things I kind of expected.
Yeah.
But the good things, like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So.
We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we have to wait and see. Make up our own mind. So. Kawabanga.